Okay, so here's how to be successful in Spanish classes. Before class, go ahead and click on the Prep for Class link. This gives you some information about how you should prep for class. First, they say check the course plan, watch the videos pertaining to the grammar and vocab content for the day's class, read pages from the book that are recommended, or do some of your own personal searches about the topics for class. So if you click on course plan, you'll be rerouted to the course plan. Here's what you should do when you see the course plan. So let's say we're in week 2, meeting 4. Last class was meeting 3, and we talked about vocabulary and masculine and feminine agreement. Now we're in week 4, and we're going to talk about AR verbs and pronouns. So let's say I already checked out pronouns a little bit. I'm going to click on verbos con AR verbs. By clicking that link, you'll be taken to my Spanish website, Spanish 101, that has an AR verbs video presentation. This is a short lecture, usually about 5 minutes or less in length, that explains what AR verbs are and how to conjugate them, how to use them. So before class, go ahead and click on this video, or you can watch it on YouTube by clicking the Watch on YouTube button at the bottom. If you watch it on YouTube, it's a little bigger. This video will give you kind of a preview about what the day's class is going to be all about. Then, of course, after you watched and prepared, you could also read pages from the Puntos en Breve book about AR verbs. You could do some of your own personal research online about AR verbs. Just to search for AR verbs in Spanish will return lots of hits. Then, the most important process is to come to class. Make sure you come to as many classes as possible. That's where we practice our speaking, and you'll get to see AR verbs in action. Then after class, navigate back here to Canvas and click on the next topic that you need to get done, Workbook. This workbook topic tells you to go back to the course plan and click on the day's topic. So let's go back to the course plan and let's take a look at pronouns and AR verbs. So let's go back to AR verbs, click there, and of course we're back to this same spot. So if you need a little refresher, click on AR verbs again and you'll learn about AR verbs a third time. You got it before class, you got it in class from your professor, and now you're going to get it one more time for more refreshers. Then after that, go ahead and click on the online Spanish workbook, and you'll be doing these activities 1.23f and 1.52c that are directly related to AR verbs. So if I click Online Spanish Workbook, I arrive here to the kia.com/books website. Use your username and password, click Go to log in. You'll click Open Book, and then here is your Online Spanish Workbook. Click on Chapter 1, that's what we're working on now, click Go. Now, I want to find 1.23f AR verb activity because that's what we talked about in class. So I'm going to click on 1.2, which is grammar, and find 1.23f. Notice how it has a black dot next to it. This means that this activity is assigned and will count toward my grade. So I need to do this black dot activity, 1.23f, and it relates directly to AR verbs, what we talked about in class today. I'm going to click on that. Now I'm going to complete this activity. Once the activity has been completed, you'll see a little check mark next to the activity on 1.23f in this column here. The workbook link explains what I just told you, to do these activities on your online Spanish workbook in the following order, just as I showed you, and it shows how the check marks appear once you've completed them. After you've completed those activities and you check the course plan and determine that you've done AR verb activities in the workbook and pronoun activities in the workbook, you know you've done all the workbook activities for any one given day. Now, what should you do? Well, since class is over and you've completed what was required of you in the workbook for the day, go to the hardest thing about today's class was discussion topic. and add your reply about what was the hardest thing about today's topic. Was it AR verbs? Was it pronouns? Was it something else? Each day after class you should say, what was the hardest thing about today's class? Right here in the discussion topic for the chapter you're working on. We're working on chapter 1, so we're going to put this response here. We post our reply and then we're done. After you post your reply, you might also want to come back here and complete your voice recordings assignment for the chapter. There are 2 voice recordings per chapter for each chapter. To complete your voice recordings, go ahead and click on voice recordings, and then Canvas will prompt you to go to the linked language website. You can click there. If you have trouble, you can go to the linked language help video listed here as well. Once on the website, find your class, find the chapter you're working on. We're on chapter 1, and there will be 2 recordings, chapter 1A and chapter 1B. Click on the recording, read the prompt, or click here in the blue circle to hear the prompt, and then click the white bubble to begin recording your response. Once done, maybe go ahead and do the second recording, chapter 1B. After you've done your voice recordings, go ahead and navigate back to Blackboard and see what else you can do. Canvas. Go back to chapter 1, and you'll notice that there's an evaluation quiz for chapter 1. Go ahead and click on that. By clicking on the evaluation 1, we can see that quiz over chapter 1 is due for chapter 1. There's a short quiz. Go ahead and click on that. Put in your same username and password that you used for the workbook and begin the quiz. Most of the quizzes are timed. This one gives us 35 minutes. Once the quiz is complete, you'll click Submit and go ahead and navigate back to Canvas. Now that we've done everything after class that we can possibly do, we could click on the semester-long project topic. Semester-long project isn't due until the end of the semester, but there might be things you can work on each week to make the end of the semester a little less stressful for you. So check out what your semester-long project is and read about it, and maybe work on it a little bit each day after class. Okay, let's say you weren't very diligent and didn't prep for class, didn't do the workbook right after class, or did your discussion right after class, or voice recordings, or your quiz right after class. Let's say that the chapter 1 due date is coming up. You can see in the course plan that chapter 1 is due in just a week, and you want to get everything done all at once. Let's say that chapter 1 due date is tomorrow. What should you do? Well, first of all, you should realize, maybe evaluate your life choices and recognize that maybe I should be working on this a little bit each day. Next, chastise yourself and come back to Canvas and click on the workbook and get it all done before the due date. You, of course, can do all of your workbook activities in a single day if you want, if you're really good. Just click on each topic and complete each one of the black dotted exercises. Grammar has a number of black dotted exercises, so does vocabulary. Un poco de todo will only have, well, none are highlighted here, but we'll only have 1 typically. Conozca will have none, usually, and Póngase a prueba will have a few. So make sure you complete all the black dotted exercises, and you can get your workbook done in 1 fell swoop. After you finish all the workbook activities, do your discussion. Make sure you get your voice recordings done before the due date, and definitely do your quiz before the due date. Work on the semester-long project if you can. If you have to do them all at once, you can, but it's best, like I say, to prep for class by checking the course plan, go to the workbook and do the specific activities that are listed in the course plan for the specific day, and keep up each and every day in class. Nevertheless, if you get all of Chapter 1 done by the due date, you'll be doing great and be getting a great grade in Spanish 1, any of my Spanish classes, really. You'll dominate Español. All right, with that, be successful and do great in Spanish. I know you can do it. If all else fails, make sure you follow the instructions that are listed here in Canvas. They won't lead you astray. There's a step-by-step process, and it tells you how to watch the videos, check out the exercises, and then transfer those exercises over into the online Spanish workbook. You'll be doing awesome. I hope you're excited to be successful in my Spanish class. I know you're going to do great, and keep plugging away. It's very rare that students don't get the grade that they want, as long as they put in the work, put in the time and effort, and things turn out well for them. All right, have a great semester.